Hi, I'm Sissel, and this year marks 10 years since I uploaded my first YouTube video. Who knew this slightly cringy video would take me on the most epic adventure to Seoul, where I arrived 7 years ago with 2 suitcases, no plan and no income. This city changed everything for me. It shaped me into the person I am today, and I have truly experienced some crazy things here, but also some beautiful and hard things. So to understand how we ended up here and to celebrate this milestone together, I thought I'd take you back to every single place I lived here, every neighborhood, and every place that holds a memory. And while I was walking the same streets again, I realized that I don't just want to share the memories, I want to share the experiences. So I've put together something for you, and you're going to hear all about it throughout this video. I'm in Mapo station. I don't even remember last time I was here. This is the station that I lived in with my first place in Korea. Exit 3, that I do remember. This road here is the road that I used to live on 7 years ago when I came to Korea for the first time. It's been, as I said, more than 7 years ago since I moved to Korea, and I have never done like a full video where I go through all of the places that I lived and tell you the story, and I thought it would be so fun to do that, so that's what we're doing today. Oh, okay, I think it's in this alleyway here. Yeah, here it is. It still exists. Oh my god. This is so wild to look at. I only lived in this place for 4 months because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but this place does not have good memories with me. Right behind the White House right there. It's very private in there. I don't think I should stand there and film. When I moved here, I was so young and so naive. I actually didn't think I was very naive. I was 19 years old. I had just finished working 13 months in an accounting and consulting company in Denmark, so I'd kind of like gotten this entry into adult life, and I felt incredibly mature and adult, but then I come here and I realize this is something I realized in retrospect, that I was young and naive, and it led me in some situations here that was incredibly traumatizing and just really difficult and hard and sad as well. But it was also where a lot of good things in this 4 months happened as well, but I must admit, looking back, it was mainly difficult. I am sitting in my own house in South Korea. It's kind of weird to think about. Welcome to my space. And since we saw each other last, it has also been my birthday. So I turned 20 years old. My daily thing when I first moved here was to take my old broken laptop and go to work in a cafe towards Mangwon-dong. Thankfully, I have grown since then, and I've learned how to search for cute cafes. So instead of going to the regular Idea in Mangwon that I used to go to, which is kind of like an old people cafe, let's go to a cute cafe, and I'll tell you a little bit more about my experience in this part of my life. Cheers. As I said, I don't think I had a very good time in this area. That is not mentioning all the friends that I made during this time. I think you know this by now, but I did not make any money on YouTube when I moved here. It was my manager at the time who encouraged me to pursue it full-time here in Korea, which is why they gave me a visa in the first place, right? So I had no budget for this house. So I ended up going for this place, which, and I'm saying house, it was a house this time. It was not an apartment. This was a first floor house, as you just saw. It was basically a really old lady who had put up a wall in between her, I think, house, and then she's rented out one side of it. But there were like rats running around outside and cockroaches. I did not know what a cockroach was back then because I've never seen one in my life, so I realized after I moved out that it was a cockroach. And what I found out after I moved, because the girl who moved in instead of me, it was completely covered in mold underneath all the wallpaper. On one occasion, I had the door open to air out some air into the house, and then the old lady just decided, she just comes into my apartment and without even asking me anything, and she walks in and she goes straight to my toilet, and then she sits on the toilet in peace with an open door. What? This is not normal behavior, so I think there was some issues there, but it was just really uncomfortable. Like, I don't even speak Korean at that point, and on so many occasions, like, they were doing things that were like not really comfortable, and I couldn't tell them no. Like, I could not tell them anything. It was just, it was not very comfortable a lot of the time. So I decided I need to find another place to live. This is not going to work out if I'm going to live here comfortably. After 4 months, I moved to Wangsimni. So I want to go have a bit of lunch, and then let's actually take the train to Wangsimni and go see that place, because that's where I feel like flow for me in Korea really started. And that's where I found love. And that love wasn't Jake. By the time all of these beautiful new fresh leaves are turning orange again, I would be bringing you to Korea. In October of this year, I'm hosting a trip with Espeeria once again. It was such a success in Sicily, and I love the friendships that we made and just the female community. And it is my absolute honor to tell you that we are putting together the perfect trip for Korea. This trip will be the best of my 7 years here in Korea, boiled down into 7 days. If this is interesting to you, stick around towards the end of the video, where I'm gonna give you a bit more information on the trip and how to apply. This is EOS station. I also came here a lot during that time because this is where my boyfriend at the time lived. Hello, Wangsimni. This is so funny walking up these stairs. This was like the greatest pain in the absolute ass getting up. Because you come up to this little square from the station. It always felt kind of like coming into this new world, this new oasis, especially after like such a turbulent time in my Mapo place. This just felt like such peace. So funny. This is where I used to live, and I was living on the top floor. I think it must have been like an added on to of the floor from the other places. This is like the tiniest place that I lived in Korea. It was just a tiny little room. I really only had space for like a bed in there. That was it. But it was clean. It was fairly newly renovated in there. It worked. the only neighbors that I had were literally other students, because this is a university town, kind of. You know, Hanyang University is right nearby, so it also felt so new coming here. And then, you know, from Mapo and Mangwon, which is filled with elder people, this was so many young people my age. I used to go to this Starbucks here, and then I went up on the second floor. Every single day I got myself a soy latte, and then I was sitting in the same chair every single day, editing and editing and editing and editing and editing. Because during this time I transitioned my YouTube videos into from makeup to lifestyle daily vlogs and such. That's what little by little taught me more about Korea. It made me find the skills to go out and find all of these amazing, beautiful places that I'm so passionate about now. So yeah, I fell in love during this time. That was my first time actually having like a boyfriend. You know, I was dating people before that in Denmark, but this was the first time I had like a boyfriend. He was from Jeju, but he was like had studied abroad in US, so he was very Americanized. Oh my god, I had some cool experiences. I don't think this is allowed. Should I share this? Can I get into trouble? I don't know. Anyways, I will play the ignorant foreigner card here because that was true. But he brought me, because he was being discharged from the army, he brought me to the army once. It was Katusa, the American one, right? And I came into the army base. You're not allowed to stay over there, but I stayed over there one night. I don't know. I didn't know if it was allowed or not, but I stayed over one night there, and like we're sitting and like eating snacks, and I think, were we drinking beer? I don't know. With like all of these army dudes and my boyfriend, and we were just sitting there having fun playing games, and like it was such a great time. I feel like I got some cool experiences. I also ended up meeting this guy's parents and such, so I feel like it was a very serious relationship, but I feel like it was kind of like always destined to fail because he had to go back to America to finish his studies. But then also, I just don't think we were a good match. And now I'm married with a child to the man of my life. Everything is just meant to be if you think about it. Here in Wangsimni, I fell in love, and I also had my heart broken. And then COVID hit, and things really took off for me. Let's go to Gangnam, specifically to Seoul.
On the road, I've been away for far too long, but now I'm on my way back home. I hear the west winds calling.
I so rarely come down South River, and Gangnam nonetheless. I think like this time in my life, Gangnam was the symbol of like financial success, of materialism, of like you made it, you know? This apartment that I'm about to show you was entirely out of my budget. Not entirely out of my budget, it was a stretch. And as I said a few videos ago, when we moved into our new current place, it's always kind of been like that when I move places. It's always been kind of just within reach, but probably not the best financial decision. But then somehow it ends up working out and just being even better from there on. Okay, let's go see it. There she is. I used to live here. What? I've had this feeling a lot today of like, what? My whole life was here? You know, I cannot, it's hard to believe, but this is the building Røde it's called. I think a lot of you guys who came here while I lived in Korea came here during this time, because this is when like my apartment videos really went, not viral, but it went really good. I decorated the whole thing. It brought so many new people to my channel because I think I was having so much fun with it. All of my girlfriends came to help me do it, and we were like being our young single selves, sipping wine, building things, building a business. Like COVID, you know, everyone who was doing something in the e-commerce field really financially thrived in COVID. You know, everything was just so internet based. So unexpectedly, everything just went so well financially, and new people came to my channel, more people were watching YouTube. I think that this time in my life it's weird to now think back on a time that was so destructive and devastating to so many people, and then these few people who happened to be in certain industries were just going the opposite way. It's weird and a little bit Black Mirror vibey to think about that now in retrospect. This is where I lived. I want to see if I can go in. That'll be so fun. Which one was it? Maybe it was 112, like 11, 12. I had like a TV appearance here in Korea while I lived here. It was also 한국은 처음이지 is one of the most famous TV shows, and it was during the COVID special, so it was about me and my life here in Korea, which is not usually the concept. Anyways, they had like set up a whole studio out here, because the whole concept is they set up cameras all over your place and then you just go about your day kind of. But so that was a funny situation. There was like camera crew everywhere, and they had just set up, like they took over the whole building, no, the whole floor. It is about like your life here, and it's supposed to be, you know, your realistic thing, but they were like, okay, now we mic you up and now you go to bed and wake up again. So it was almost like a vlogger filming your life. That show was everywhere in Korea. I remember it was like being a celebrity for a while, and I've never tried anything like it, because once your episode starts and it rolls, they play it over and over again for like a period of 2 weeks or something, and I was stopped everywhere I went. It felt like being a celebrity. It was insane. I've never tried anything like that before. And then the hype dies off, and then no one recognizes you anymore, except for like, what was it? A few months ago, a Korean person stopped me. I was like, I know you from this program. Like, that's like 5 years ago. How do you know me from that long ago? But I guess he remembered. Let's go into the park. That's the first time I have gotten a ticket and paid for it here, because if you live here, you get in for free. After I lived in this area for about a year and a half, I was referred by one of my friends to work with her company, who was doing like global marketing, and she said she'd set me up in a meeting with her boss, the CEO of her company, so that they could discuss a sponsorship for my channel. And I say yes. I dress up. I know exactly what I wore that day. I put on, I have like a black wrap dress. So funny. I wore the exact same wrap dress at Noah's first birthday party. Anyways, I wore that dress. I put on my white Converse with platform, a black blazer, and then I went in for the meeting, which was just down the street from here. I go into the meeting And there sits my future husband and future father of my child, Jake. I got a man and a paid partnership out of that meeting, so I would say it was a big success. One of Jake and I's first days out. I just remember very early on, I think it was our second date, Jake and I took a walk in this park and we talked about all sorts of inappropriate things. That's so wild to think about everything that begun from that part of my life, you know? I see my time here in Korea, my adult life, as in two different chapters. There was the chapter before Jake and then there was the chapter after Jake. Because I feel like it's two different lives in the most perfect way ever. I've just gotten off the bus in Sangdo. All the other places that I visited so far in this video, I came and I, you know, recognized it as past, and it was hard to even still feel at home there. But I get off the bus and I instantly feel like I'm back when I lived here. Isn't that so weird? Like, this still feels like home. I lived in this building right here. This was the place that we lived in for the longest time. 6 months into our relationship, both of our house contracts happens to run out at the same time, so we were like, should we just move in together? Perhaps it isn't the best decision, like maybe that's not the best decision to do when you have someone that you know just recently moving in together, but hey, it worked out in the end. But we did end up moving in together, and this is where like the biggest growth for me happens personally. Like, I think I become truly an adult living here.
Oh my god, 오빠! 뭐야?
하나, 둘, 셋.
I don't know how I can't believe it.
Wow, Noah would have loved living here. Well, technically he kind of did. At least he was brought into existence here. Like a month before we moved. Okay, hold on, now it's freaking me out. What if this thing is wrong? This is a matcha lemonade. I've had this once before, but never here, and it pleasantly surprised me. Let's see. That's so good. I think not only did my life change because I got together with Jake, and that's why it feels like a different chapter, but also because being with him, being in such close proximity with someone, and being in a place where you're creating a home together and a life together, you kind of see yourself gets reflected when you are together with someone so much in close proximity, right? You notice all of the areas in which you can develop and grow, and you notice areas that you have trauma, and you notice areas about yourself which you love that you couldn't see before. There were just so much growth. The years here with Jake, there still are. It's a constant journey. I feel like if you really find the right person, you will grow together, and that's exactly what I felt with Jake. I became an adult, and I got closer to myself, and I get closer to myself every day that I'm with him. I've never felt so supported and so loved and so part of a team before. Yeah. Cheers to love. Welcome to Hyotang Park Station. My fifth house in Korea. Wow, I really moved a lot. In my first trimester of being pregnant with Noah, we moved in here. Exactly there, in that building on the 6th floor. This place will go down in my memories forever. We started a family here. It means so much to me. And you know most of the story. It was very recent. We only just moved away from here a month ago. Now, I promised to share something with you, and all of the things that I love the most about Korea, all of the things that made me just fall in love with this country over the past 7 years, we have boiled down to a 7-day trip together with me and my dear friends at Espeeria. This trip is from October 17th to October 23rd of this year, guys. If you've always wanted to experience this country, or if you've always wanted to come back, let this be your sign to do so this year. October is the best month. I tell this to everyone every time someone asks. October is the best month to travel to Korea. You will get amazing comfortable weather, most likely clean air. You will get the most gorgeous orange colors. This is Seoul in its best element. Here's what we're gonna do on the trip. Each day is focused around one of my favorite areas, one of my favorite dongnes of Seoul. Each day we have an activity like crafting something you get to bring home, yoga, beauty classes, because you know I love K-beauty and I think you guys do too. Workshops, but then also you get to experience the best of what Seoul has to offer with food, not only in, of course, the Korean scene, because we're gonna eat a lot of Korean food, we're also going to eat some of the amazing other foods that's made here, because young Korean people have just taken cafe culture, food culture, art culture to the next level. I really want to show you the beauty of all of these young amazing business owners and what exactly they're doing. And it's gonna be delicious. You will stay in a hanok, guys. You will stay in a gorgeous hanok. There will be different hanoks. Hanoks are tiny, so we're going to stay in different hanoks, all of us. And the last day of the trip, we'll go outside of Seoul to a temple stay to really experience this Buddhist culture that these Korean monks are still upholding. My temple stay a few years back was one of the best experiences I've had in Korea, so that's something I really want to share with you as well. The itinerary will be more outlined via the website below. This is, if you ask me, the best of Korea that you can get in a week. And I can't wait to have the same amazing experience as what we had in Sicily last year, the most special time ever. I'm so excited to repeat this in my own home. How the process works is you apply, then you get an invite to a meeting together with me and Espeeria, where we can get to know each other, see if it's a great fit. This is to ensure that there are no people with ill intentions coming along, so it's purely for our safety. It's not to sit here and like do a Tinder swipe on you guys. and then you will be able to secure your spot with a deposit. If you have any questions, please leave them down below or contact me or Espeeria directly. I'm so excited to meet you guys and to spend this wonderful week together. Yay! Thank you so much for watching this special video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye!